Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Moving Offline. I'm your host, Jose Briones, and today we're diving into a methodology I've developed and refined over the years, and one that I employ every 3 months or so to enrich my life with more offline moments. This is very simple, nothing completely revolutionary, but I hope it adds value to your weekend and allows you to set your priorities for the future. Offline time is an invaluable priority in my life, and I'm continually reassessing what I truly need versus what I can do without in the digital world. In this episode, I'll share with you 3 essential steps I follow to recalibrate my life, ensuring that I allocate more time to what genuinely matters to me. I'm going to refer to these steps as the 3 steps to disconnect and reconnect, and I hope that these steps resonate with you, inspire you to prioritize your values, and you are able to implement them in your life regularly. Our first step is to list our essential apps and services. This is the beginning of the journey. It's to compile a list of the actual services that we need for our daily lives. To start this process, grab a piece of paper and number it from 1 to 10. Do not go after 10 because that's when we start seeing more non-essential services. These 10 slots are actually reserved for apps or services that are not just convenient, but absolutely crucial. So having your bank app is convenient, but is not crucial all the time unless you work in the banking system or, you trade stocks all day. These are the tools that you need to put food on the table or to function without too much inconvenience in your life or things that add value to your life. For instance, in my personal list, I rely on email for work communication. I have WhatsApp to stay connected with colleagues and friends across the globe, Maps to navigate, Libby, which is an app that allows me to get audiobooks from the library, Messages for quick communication, my phone for essential calls, podcasts to stay informed, music to relax, and my calendar to keep my life organized. These are the cornerstones of my digital life, and I think the only one that I may have missed in my rambling there is transit, which is to check when the bus is coming so that I don't miss it and I can get to work on time. However, I've consciously chosen to use these apps and to have some of them only on certain devices, and we'll go to that in our second step. But your list should comprise roughly about 10 apps or services that are essential for your daily activities and that bring value to your life. So step number 2 is to select the devices that are going to use those apps or services. Now that you crafted a list of essential apps, let's get into selecting the appropriate devices to access these tools. I personally employ a dual device approach. I utilize a work phone and a personal phone. My work phone comes with me to the office, serving as a dedicated work tool, and I only have podcasts, transit, and WhatsApp besides phone calls and text messages on that phone. Those apps actually give me a lot of value, but they're not distractions that are consuming all of my time. Now, when I leave work, my personal phone, the Light Phone 2, takes the spotlight. It offers a clear separation between my professional and my personal life. When I'm on vacation, I do not bring my work phone, and if I do, it's because I may have something that I need to relay information into. The choice of devices is pivotal here because you need to match which services you're going to access through which device. It's about finding a good equilibrium between convenience and reducing distractions. If you find that smartphones are proving too much detrimental to you and to your focus, maybe consider having a basic phone with a dedicated music player if you have music in your list of apps. Or maybe you need a GPS. You need to buy a couple of extra things here and there. It may be a little bit of an exploration for you, but it's very important that you select which devices you're going to have and how you're going to use that list of apps and services to function, do your job, and actually generate a lot of value into your life. I personally have 3 things that I bring with me pretty much everywhere: my personal phone, my work phone, and my e-ink laptop, the Lenovo Twist. Excellent choices for me, and for what I do, I can get everything done without much friction. So that is step 1 and 2. Let's get into step number 3, schedule the device use. With our essential apps and services list matched to their respective devices, we have to transition to the third step, which is scheduling when and how you're going to use them. This is actually about creating boundaries and crafting a structured approach for your digital life. You're going to decide which hours or which days you're going to be engaged in the digital world and which days you're going to be more disconnected and focus on other matters that are not online. Recently, I wrote a blog post about how my wife and I are deciding that the last hour of the day and the first hour of the day should be device free so that we can actually focus on waking up, getting energy, exercising, and putting a lot of those values into work. Sometimes we forget and we go on autopilot and just log in and start our day without actually thinking and setting a decision point and maybe an intention for the things that we're going to do. I hear other people that say, I have a work phone and whenever I get home, I'm going to turn it off and then I will turn it on at the beginning of the next day. That gives you that personal phone, work phone distinction. But again, you have to schedule for what you actually want in your life. This deliberate scheduling ensures that there's a clear distinction between the offline activities and the online activities. I also have friends that do the weekend phone difference. So they have a dumb phone for the weekends and they have a smartphone for the week. And that may work for you, but you need to reconsider when you're going to use these devices and why they actually add value to what you're doing. So those are the 3 steps, and I'm going to include a bonus step that goes in conjunction, especially with the last one. Instead of just scheduling when you have offline and online activities with your digital devices, you also put other offline activities into your calendar. This is personally where the magic truly happens, whether it's dedicating time to go to the gym, immersing yourself in sports events, enjoying quality time with friends without phones, or simply taking a peaceful walk. When you put these hard-coded into your calendar, you're telling yourself, I am not bringing distractions to these areas of my life, and I'm going to spend time offline. I would say, of course, do not forget to prioritize face-to-face interactions, especially when sharing moments with friends or loved ones. But of course, if your loved ones do not live nearby, you may need to get a little bit more creative, like writing them a letter or, just a good old-fashioned phone call that is not a FaceTime. Try to prioritize those connections that you can and do the best to hard code them into your schedule. Again, in conclusion, the whole idea is to prioritize your offline life, and that can lead to deeper connections and a more fulfilling every day. So embracing the art of disconnecting and reconnecting is a powerful strategy for achieving balance in your digital life. And I hope that these 3 foundational steps, coupled with the bonus one, empower you to seize control of your time and invest it where it matters most. Remember, your digital devices should serve as tools to enhance your life, not monopolize it. I encourage that you engage in thoughtful conversation with yourself, your partner, or a friend about the life you aspire to create this weekend, and maybe make a plan for the next week and the week after that. And after the schedule settles in, you can do a review every 3 months or so. Thank you for being part of this podcast community, the Moving Offline team, and for subscribing to the newsletter and all of the good things. If you found this episode valuable, we appreciate if you share it with a friend or you give a rating to the podcast. This helps other people actually discover it. I know these podcasts are not as frequent as I would like them to be, but I'm going to be doing my best to publish maybe a couple of tips every 2 weeks so that you guys can continue on your journey towards moving offline. Thank you for listening, and I hope and eagerly anticipate that you join us for the next podcast. Thanks again. Have a great weekend.